Okay, that was not supposed to happen. Anyways, hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jackson Black. For all you people on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Pandora, everybody, how are you doing? Thanks for the follows, likes, subscribes, all of that good jazz. Anyways, my guest tonight is the Anomaly Kelsey Magnolia. It got a little wordy there with me. Anyways, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Long time no talk, man. How you been?
Dude, just tearing up this indie scene. I'm loving it.
I
I
see
see
you
the same
keeping
out of
busy.
you. See the same out of you.
I'm
I think
yeah.
I think we're the lone two. Kind of what I thought was except for cubes, but kind of
He's
sorta.
working. Jeff is working too,
Oh, is
trying to get
he?
work when he can. Warren Adams.
Of course he'd pick up like such a presidential name.
Oh yeah,
Like
he's put a lot of thought into it. I train with him regularly. I try to get him on shows as often as I can. So
I love it. I love it. So let's go to straight up and the question number one. I know a couple of these because I have great memory, but I'm gonna let the fans know. So what made you fall in love with the business of professional wrestling?
well, I was a fan when I was a kid. I definitely fell off quite a bit after graduating high school, just, busy being an idiot in my 20s. But one of my friends got had some tickets to WrestleMania 26, so we rode along, and it was HBK versus Taker 2, the streak versus career, and it was an awesome time. It totally got me back into wrestling, and then I was just a fan for from then on, and then I started getting into Japanese women's wrestling once Asuka was in NXT. So that kind of got me thinking about maybe being a wrestler. So it kind of just rolled from there.
I love it. Japan. That's where my heart is. I always tell everybody like, where do you want to go? And I was like, oh, it's Japan. But
Yeah, that's
uh,
the thing to go there. My opinion, my I love Japanese wrestling still, don't get me wrong, but I watch it very differently now that I am a wrestler myself. And not everything is the style that I want to emulate in what I do, but man, it's freaking awesome to watch.
they just sometimes they just beat the crap out of each other, and I absolutely dig
Yeah, men
it.
and women alike. Men and women alike.
Yeah, I remember like I think it was Okada Omega, and it was somebody was like, "What'd you think of that match?" And I was like, "It was like the Young Bucks, but for like 60 minutes." And like, what do you mean? I was like, they hit so many finishers, like so many finishers, and nothing finished it.
It's been a long time since I've watched that match, and like I said, like I've definitely changed how I watch wrestling since becoming a wrestler myself. I don't think you can really ever go back to watching it quite the same way as you did before.
No, because you're literally in there like, oh, okay, I see what's happening. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. I
More
spot I spot my
that
own
was
botches too.
really bad, and how are they even possibly thinking of doing that? Like, I'm still I'm like a wuss when it comes to things, and I'm still kind of like that.
I feel that. Now I'm just in I don't know what happened. I flip switched like maybe like 6 months ago. I just like getting in there and fighting now. Like I don't
I
do the
definitely,
flips.
I love being aggressive in the ring for sure. Like I had a good match with Lilith Grimm recently, and we just really like matched each other's. We were just giving it to each other, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun to just kind of let loose like that in there.
Okay, so this leads me into no, it doesn't really lead. Yeah, kind of along the same lines. So, what is your perspective like? Because we were talking about that of when you first came in to where you are now, as you're like, oh, I wanted to do this when you first started training. And you're like, and now you're like, okay, that's the shits like that.
Well, I mean, when I first started, I didn't come into it with like I want to do all of these moves. Like these are things I think is cool. I came into it with like I have no idea if I'm going to be able to do this. Like if I physically I'm going to be like tough enough to do this. And it took me a while, but yeah, so I didn't, and even now I didn't really ever like these are the moves I want to do. They've kind of just happened in training and in matches I've had of things of just like, let's give this a try, and then that kind of went in. So it's kind of a different perspective, I feel like, from a lot of people. But I mean, obviously, even that has changed. Just this is like we were in training 2 years ago, so it's been a journey so far, and just learned a lot along the way.
That is the thing. It's like a okay, here's your failure to launch moment. We're just gonna push you out of the nest, and you got like you got like a little bit of the basics, but
Oh,
when you go to a show, you're just like, oh, my light went out. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. It don't matter. And you're like, it's just crazy because you don't know what's out there until you get in there, and it's so
absolutely.
vast, so
It's
vast.
every show's different, but I was really lucky to have a good group of people. I found a group of people after I came home from training because, like, I live in Des Moines, Iowa, and went down to Knoxville, Tennessee to train at JPWA. And after getting home from that, like, I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do. And that's when I got my first match booked, like, before I even knew where I was going to continue training. So I was like super scared. But I found Craig Kieseman in Osborne, Missouri, which is about a couple hours south of here, and a really good group of people at Pony Express Wrestling to train with, and really took me under their wing to just show me, yeah, what it's like to get bookings, travel to shows, deal with bookers, locker rooms, all everything that goes along with the craziness that is independent wrestling.
It is such a trip. It really is. And I was telling somebody, it's like Mario, like back on the NES, they like changed the color of the sprites, but like they're the same like thing. I swear I was in Illinois, and there's like a 6'4" lady that is on the indies around here, and she was there. I swear it was, but she just had an eye patch. Like, that was the that was the only difference. I was like, these people all look the same. It's wild.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, between wrestlers, there's a lot of that with wrestlers, but then wrestling fans too. Because, like, I've wrestled in Texas and Minnesota. So you'd think there'd be, like, really different types of people there. And there is, but they're also just the same types of people, which are great. We love our fans.
Yes, I guess now I do love all the fans now. I think I believe,
I love them till they make me mad. Don't cross me.
dude. I'm doing a lot of baby work now, and it's
Yeah.
different. It's very different. Like
I've been doing like I have really detailed spreadsheets about like all the data of my matches. I've like gotten even more into it lately, and I'm about 50-50 with I've worked 60 matches so far, and I'm about 50-50 with babyface or heel. I've been a heel a lot more lately, which I enjoy. I definitely enjoy.
well, I've heard that I don't know where it was. I was on some show, and they were saying it's best when you're first starting out to learn how to be a babyface, so you learn all that selling,
Oh
and
yeah.
then you can go into being a heel and just have fun with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get like too into the details of
Yeah,
everything.
that's all I'm getting from them.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. And it's I like being you should be able to do both of them. You should be able to do, what the promoter booker wants you to do. So it's good to have experience across the board and whatever you can.
I agree. So let's go your first match. How did the first match go? Let's go before your music hits, because I know I always have to pee or I'm just super anxious. Till like you're coming back from the first match. How did that first go?
Oh
First.
God. I mean, I was a nervous wreck for like weeks leading up to it. And like day of, I got there like earlier than I needed to for sure. And I was as nervous as you could possibly be. Like it was I still get really nervous before my matches, but not anywhere close to that. Fortunately, I worked with a really really sweet talented wrestler, Valentina Loca. She wrestles out of New Mexico and around Iowa a lot as well. All over really. And she just walked me like a baby through the match. Like she was so sweet, and watching it back now, like it's not that terrible. I'm even gonna out myself now. It's totally on YouTube, so it's the only match that we've wrestled against each other. Kelsey Magnolia versus Valentina Loca, so it's on there. Um, it I those early ones, like I feel like I didn't even hear the audience at all. Like everything shuts off to an extent. So a lot of it's just like I don't even think I remembered it at the time, let alone now. But once it was over, it was just like the biggest sense of relief and accomplishment. And like right when you're so nervous before, like have to pee, always have to pee right before. It doesn't matter. I could have just peed like 5 minutes before. But like the second you walk out there and bust through the curtain, like it is on. Your adrenaline hits so hard and it is just so much fun. Like you come back when you're done, drenched in sweat, absolutely exhausted, just like dying for water, and it is such a good feeling. Even if the match didn't go how you wanted it to, like just doing it is you always kind of have to just reflect and be like, damn, I'm like doing this. Like I'm actually doing wrestling. And that first match definitely like I am a wrestler now. So it's cool. It's scary, but it's cool.
Do you remember the first time? Like, I don't know if you got it on the first show. I didn't get the treatment for like 3 or 4 months. I remember the first time. How did you feel the first time you saw like your face on a wrestling poster?
Oh, well, I mean, being a girl, it's you're on it because you're a girl. So like my first match was technically a title match for the Central Empire Wrestling women's title. Semi-main
Sure.
event, no pressure, no big deal. Um so there was like not only I don't think I was on the actual poster, but they had like match graphics for it and that was dope as hell. And I've been on like most posters since then. There's been a few that I haven't been on, but that's just cuz I'm a girl. Like literally like one of the perks of being a female wrestler is you will probably be on the poster.
I feel that. I saw you. I think it was. I don't know if it was on Facebook or something. You were talking about how you like. I think you saved like all the posters you were on. And
Mhm.
dude, I went back and I started doing that now too. 'Cause that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I mean that's part of my like super detailed like I just figured, I'm like kind of older when I started doing this. I'm about to turn 34. So I figured if I'm going to do this, I have a crappy memory anyways. Like I just forget stuff. So I'm gonna detail this as much as I can. Like save the posters, the match graphics. Like my freaking spreadsheet has like the bell time, the location, the day of the week, like pretty much every detail you could possibly have about it. I have because why the hell not? Like data's cool.
Oh, dude, I have the. I love how you do that too. I don't have the date or like the town, but I have like the promotion,
Yep.
uh, who I was against, what the finish was. I've kept that. Chris Jericho, thank you for that.
Yeah,
He
I have even the gear that I wore, the music that I freaking walked the ring to, like what the finish was. It's like I guess I'm kind of might be on the spectrum a little bit for that.
Hey, that's meticulous. And speaking of this, I was talking to somebody about this, and I was like, wrestling is the one industry that I can think of on the planet where if you're a female with talent, there's a good chance that you're not going to be on like. I don't foresee you being on the indies for fucking long at all. Like I don't because once you like it's the top 10% of like maybe even more than that because I've seen some people that are awful on some really big shows
And
and like
that's true. I'm not going to say that. Like it takes a lot to do wrestling, period. Obviously there is a skill, scale to that. But I don't really like WWE is not like a goal for me or anything just cuz like I am older and I'm also hyper judgmental of myself and probably not as confident as I should be. So, I'm working on that.
but we got so many promotions with somewhat of a pay that could put off a lifestyle of doing it as a profession out there now. So it's everything's possible. We have like a Kinsey Page been in the business for a little bit, and her sister, as Macho would say, she's been in the business for a cup of coffee, and she's signed to NWA now. So like the sky is literally the limit.
they're both like beautiful girls too and talented. Like I've seen Kenzie obviously wrestle more than Kylie, but like I haven't met Kylie yet. I think I briefly met Kenzie when we were there. But yeah, they're great and there's way more opportunities for women now than ever for everyone now, but especially for women. Also, like I make my own gear, so even
Yeah.
if I don't get, like a super sick wrestling, like I'm happy. I just want to travel. I want to get to wrestle in as many states as I can, go to different countries if I can, travel as much as I can, and be creative with gear. Eventually, start making it for other people. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities in wrestling for more than just wrestling too.
Okay, here's one because I know you did a lot of you're artistic, not autistic, artistic. You're artistic,
Maybe a little
and
both.
so with that, like nobody tells you in this business that you gotta be a social media person. You gotta be good at graphics. You gotta
You have
be
to
good
do
at
everything.
editing. You gotta be good at this. You gotta be good. Like
You have to be a
it's
business
absolutely nuts. It's and the time I get like pie graphs and crap
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like okay, I got this much time for this, but then you also have to maintain healthy relationships
Yeah,
and
go to the
work
gym
out
and
and
work
diet, and
out. Yeah, it's
it's
hard.
such
It's
a
hard.
it's such a business. I wasn't realizing, and then I do all this other crap. Like I don't ever sleep. Like
Well, I hear that. Even having like, trainers and people that can help you to an extent, there's still so much you just have to figure out on your own and have to do on your own. Like that's the reason I started just making my gear is like I knew I'd be good at it, but I didn't want to. Like I had deposits out with a couple people, but they were all just really busy. Like and that's the thing. Like if I ever do decide to start laying into doing gear, like there's not going to be a shortage of clients for that type of
yeah,
thing.
I want in for sure.
Yeah, like I mean, don't message me about making gear. Anyone watching this, don't message me about it yet. I'm not ready to open it up, but you will know when I do. Like I will
Close.
obviously like I like to do things well, and if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right and the correct way. So not ready for it yet.
Okay, okay. I know that when we were in training, we talked about like the people that we kind of like borrowed some things from. Has your list changed at all since you've been working?
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, before I went to training, I'd never heard of Brad Armstrong before, let alone watched him wrestle, and he's been like huge influence. Ricky Morton, big time. Like, I, like most people in independent wrestling, worked on a show with Ricky and Carrie, and they were both super awesome. Watched my match, it was cool. But yeah, Ricky's a big influence now, and it's a lot of just. I mean, I watch it completely differently than I did before, and I never watched Smoky Mountain Wrestling before, and that's one of my favorites. So it changes. It changes with what I'm inspired by, what I want to try to do, because I'm not going to be doing like backflips and shit like that in the ring, so I like to pull from different places of influence too, because there's a giant world of wrestling out there, and there's no reason that everybody needs to be doing the same thing. Hip attacks in the corner,
A
you know.
100%. I've had to change. Oh my gosh. I've had
Yeah,
to take out like 20 things, like, because I find out and then I see them on videos and I'm like, so I've noticed that if you go back a good like 20, 25 years, you're pretty much gold because nobody does anything like
kind
that.
of, kind of, but I mean, and what they do is it's just so much more believable. Like the strikes, like a single punch, just like means so much, and like that's where I think that's what we should be doing in wrestling. It's easier on the bodies of both people involved. It's easier to get people pulled into a story like that. Obviously, like popping the crowd with super awesome flashy moves is like you're gonna pop the crowd. That's gonna happen. And flashy moves are cool. I'm not against them, but like, do it in the proper place and don't just like murder yourself on these shows.
I feel you. I popped a crowd on a headlock because like
Yeah.
I went for a headlock like 6 times, dude, never got it, and then I got it.
like simple storytelling like that. And that's my training recently. We really last night I went to train in at KC Pro Wrestling Academy in Kansas City. Luke Langley leads the, I don't want to call it the advanced class, but like I've gone through training, so I'm not a part of their training, but it's where you go when you're not a part of the training, but you want to go there. I guess it's advanced.
Right.
But that's a lot of what it is there was a good group last night, a big group of people, and just a lot of how to not eat up time, but like tell a story with simple things and make it make sense. And that's the easiest way to make the crowd react. And that's something that, like, in my early matches, I said like I couldn't hear the crowd or anything. I'm finally starting to like be able to like, oh, if you do like this nasty thing, like they react like this, and it's finally starting to click in that way of really being able to hear it and act in my match accordingly.
100%. I know exactly the moment that you're talking about. It happened to me like a little bit ago. But yeah, you when you come out and you start wrestling, you literally can't hear a damn thing.
Yeah,
You're
it's
just
like you're
like,
the tunnel.
ah. And now I'm hearing it and I'm like, oh, maybe this right here.
Hmm.
I love I never thought I would be that walk and talk guy, like as they say. That is
Hmm.
just so much fun.
It is. It is, and like it's uh as like it's just like I said, simple shit. Like the crowd reacts to the simplest things and they love it. Like they love that interaction and you can still be a heel and you don't have to be vulgar and nasty either because I'm pretty sure every single show I've ever worked on has been a family show. So like I never swear at all. I might be
Nope.
nasty, but I don't swear.
I stand up comedy like work the room. I just am like, okay, you got one tooth, I'm getting you. Like, oh man.
Yeah, one
So,
good thing, a bit of advice I got recently, actually, because I asked at a seminar, it was a Bob Evans seminar. I asked,
oh
like,
yeah,
what
hell
do you
yeah.
do if the crowd is, like cheering for the heel and not really worried. They're like the cool fan. Basically said to just don't interact with like a single person because you never know like how good they are at like giving it back. So just kind of try to address like the side of the crowd or like a broader thing than really, but obviously there are times you can get into it one on one with people, especially because I'm sure working returning to promotions, you see the same fans, so you get to
Yep.
know these people.
Sadly, yes. Sadly, yes.
um, we love
Uh,
them.
I love some of them. Some
Fact.
cities I just would rather drive through, but that's just me.
Fair. Fair.
So, what do you think? Where do you see yourself in like maybe the next 5 years?
Jeez. Hopefully, hopefully still wrestling. Like I hope I'm still wrestling. I hope I feel like I've finally gotten it at that point in time because I still feel like I'm just green as can be. Like I'm not quite anymore. But I hope I hope I'm still wrestling. I definitely see myself making gear still. I hope I'm not in the office job that I have right now. Like no offense to the job, I just got a promotion and that's why I'm sticking around Des Moines for a year longer. But I don't want to be, I know I'm meant for more than an office job.
I feel that. I feel that. I'm just trying to hit something till it sticks. Like, just trying to get fingers in everything. I'll be doing everything. I'll be doing commentary, and I'm a
Yeah.
stupid commentator. I'm an idiot. Like,
The more skills you have, the more arrows you have in your quiver, the more people want to work with you because you can do more for them. And even like, when it comes to just breaking the ring down, everybody seems to be so busy when that happens after the show, but it's still so important. And it's not that bad. It's a little bit, it's a workout.
it is a workout. I do, and unintentionally, so I've been blessed enough to be on a lot of shows where they have like a straight up ring crew,
Oh,
which
that's
is
the best. Yeah.
amazing.
I know that is the best. Like the call times later, so you don't have to be there like 4 hours before doors. Like, oh my gosh. I think
I do.
like I love. I love traveling. I love driving. I love riding in cars. I don't mind any of that. I think the thing that just maybe annoys me the most is just those like hours of time before the show starts. Like,
I've been on some shows and I'm like, I really want to go get in the ring and train, and then like I look around and like I don't want to like be a douche about it, but like I was like, there's really no one here to train with, like, eh. And then the good guys get there at like doors, and you're like, oh man.
yeah, you're already like all suited up and stuff. Mine's more like, I guess actually, I don't hate putting makeup on. I don't really train before shows just because I always have to do my hair and put my makeup on, and it like takes a bit of time. But I do enjoy doing it. I've grown to like it more. I've gotten a little bit better at it, and eh, I mean, it's just so fun to dress up. Like, it's so fun. Everything about wrestling's fun, and that's why I'm doing it.
It really is. I do enjoy it. Okay, so you do hit the road a lot. So I love this question. Everybody's got a good one. Some people have crap answers, but what's like your best road story so far?
uh, I mean, there are ones I'm not going to talk about. There are really fun ones I'm not going to talk about. Um, I we went out to Colorado as a trip. We went to Rocky Mountain Pro, like a group of like 12 of us from Pony Express. And that was super fun. Like we hiked at Red Rocks and most people bitched about it, which was annoying. Like exercise, sorry, we're at Red Rocks. That was a really fun one, but I mean, most of it's just the best part is afterwards, like going to Hooters or whatever place is open in town is usually where you have to go. Or there's nowhere open, so you just go back to the hotel. Like that's fun. It's obviously the wrestling's fun, but like getting to know people, no matter where you are, if you're in like the crappiest place in Nebraska, which I've been to many times, or like the crappiest place. Not Arkansas is beautiful. I like Arkansas more than Nebraska. I'll just say it. But I don't know. There's not like one particular thing, just because I've had a lot of good memories.
I feel that. I feel that.
Which is
So
probably the answer to the question.
that'll come out in the autobiography with all the matches and the gear and the dates and the times.
There you go.
All
You
right.
got you can't give the people everything.
I agree. I agree. So, who's been your toughest opponent you think that you've been in the ring with?
Um, my seventh match of my career was my first time at Steel Domain Wrestling in Bloomington, Minnesota, which is one of my absolute favorite promotions to work for. The promoter Ed Hellier is just a top-notch ace guy. Like he is awesome. But that match, so seventh match of my career, was against Malaya Hosaka, and she's been wrestling for like 30 plus years. She's wrestled in WCW. She's wrestled Akira Hokuto, so like she's a legend, especially in women's wrestling. There's like no veteran wrestlers in women's wrestling that are still active. So that was amazing. And that was my first experience of not planning a single thing at all before we went out there. Like she asked me what I could do and like asked me, "Can you do this?" And we figured out what I could and couldn't do because there's still a lot I can't do, but I was really green then. And then she just went out there and she was the heel and just it was amazing. Like it was mind blowing and eye opening because I hadn't had that up until then and a lot afterwards because that's just how a lot of people do it was just like planning everything and that was the first time of like really having that freedom and that's what I try to do a lot more now is that type of stuff because that's what good workers do and I want to be a good worker. I want to be known as a good wrestler, not just a good girl wrestler or like good for a girl. Like I want to be a good wrestler.
I feel that. I feel that. I have had a few veteran people I've wrestled against. Uh, I wrestled like Chase Stevens, and that was crazy because Jesus Christ, like if somebody was born to do the born to be a wrestler, it's that fella. Like
Yeah,
he can work a crowd like I'm getting it, but like I'm not on that level. That's just crazy.
yeah,
Just
you
watching
learn
those
so
vets
much
work.
just watching people like that, and then getting to like actually interact in a match. It's like you learn everything.
I think it was. I think I went to like I've only seminar I've ever paid for was like Larry D, and he was talking about how he doesn't do the. I don't want to give the people the structure of a match, but if they look it up, they can figure out a structure of a match. He goes, I do. I go for moments. So like we just base off the crowd and go for moments because that's way more memorable than all right, you do standing Spanish fly and then I hit a top rope
Mhm.
standing Spanish fly. Like
Well, and that's, I feel like people wrestle each other a lot. You wrestle the same opponent a lot, and like it's easy to just get used to doing sequences and things together. So that's where I'm kind of at now is I want to get out more. I want to get different new opponents, and this month was supposed to be like a lot of that, and it kind of just fell apart, and it's all right. That's another lesson learned in wrestling is like don't, you can plan, but don't like those, nothing set in stone. Like nothing set in stone. Card subject to change.
that is the biggest I've ever like encountered in my life. Card subject to change. I've had like these matches that were supposed to happen I was super pumped for, cut
Yep,
promos for, multiple
yep,
promos for, and
yep.
get to the venue and they're like, "Oh yeah, he crashed his car, he's not going to be here."
Yeah, it's a bummer, but whatever. Makes it
Oh,
worth it even more when the good ones happen.
it does. It does. I need to get myself to Alabama soon. That's where I need to go.
I need to actually wrestle a match that I get paid for in Tennessee because I've wrestled in 11 states so far, and technically Tennessee
Damn.
not on my list. I know, right? Like I told you, been getting around, mostly just like up and down, but Colorado, and I was supposed to go to New Jersey and that fell through, but I will get to New Jersey, so I want to go wherever I can.
I feel that. It's just so hard. The hardest thing I found, you're lucky because you found like groups of people that are fuck, man. People trying to get people like to get in cars and go places is fucking like pulling teeth sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, even now with the group that I have, it's like, well, I work on the weekends. It's like, dude, you got to get a job where you don't. Like, I'm sorry. You have to get a job where you don't work on the weekends because you work at wrestling on the weekends.
Right?
So,
Oh
but
man,
I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about that either. So,
that is a plus. I have very amenable partners, so we're all good. Like she's like, go do whatever you want to do.
yeah, you gotta have support for it because it's freaking hard. It's really hard.
Granted, she's never seen me wrestle. She's seen the videos because I'm like I make her watch them, but nope, not into the thing. And whenever I
Well,
try to show her wrestling, it's terrible,
someday. She'll see you someday, and it'll be super special. So,
right? I was like, okay, you haven't seen any of my title victories. That's tight. You haven't seen any of
how
the
many how
defenses
many titles have you won?
for.
Ooh, look at you!
Hey, I'm the Mud Show King. What's up?
I've won zero, zero.
Hey, uh, they're just heavy, man. They're just heavy.
I've had like 5 title matches, like my very first match, but
That's fucking. I have never. Okay, I've been in like I guess like 10 or so, and I've probably lost six. So I'm not like doing great on average. Uh,
good.
eh, I just want to go to. I'm like trying to go to that next level. I'm like it's cool wrestling with like people that are like weekenders or hobbyists, but I'm trying to get to. I guess at this point, it's looking like Ring of Honor or something like that. I'm trying to get there.
Well, I mean, I guess if there's no dark or dark elevation, and that's kind of, I guess ROH just filming wise has filled that spot. That is, yeah, pretty much the next kind of. There's NWA out there.
There is NWA, but I'm not like 6'8", so
That's
there's
true.
like Rolando. There's like Rolando, and then everybody else is like 6'8". So I'm not
Yeah, you
AJ
gotta work on your
Kazana.
gimmick. You gotta work on your gimmick, man.
Oh, I just don't. Yeah, it is a thing. It's
Yeah.
it's coming together, kind of. I tried all the BS and all these random characters. I see yours just evolved. Mine, I went through like four. Finally, now just being me.
I mean, I've never really like had a character, and I feel like I mean, I just want to be a badass, like, and I feel like a badass when I'm a wrestler, and I'm getting more confident, and it's becoming more believable. So I'm just gonna keep getting stronger, dude. I put on almost 20 pounds of muscle since I
Hell
transitioned.
yeah!
We're
I
getting
just
there.
I like Oreos, so like I just do cardio to get myself there. I was like, because there's I've had this conversation with everybody, and they're like, da 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 da. You got to be, you got to be this specific thing, and I was like, dude, you can be anything in wrestling. Wrestling is like a carnival. Anything goes as long as you can do it safely.
Yeah.
I do have
Yep.
something big in the works.
A lot of the most like successful things in wrestling are just stupid things that go viral. It's not even like the best wrestlers, you know. It's just, and I'm
I
not going to comment on anyone after saying that.
I remember Doc saying it when we were in there, he's like, wrestling is this much of it, and I've come to like realize that, damn, that is like it's presentation, it's presence, it's all these different things. Learning how
Yeah.
to talk is a
Yeah.
major thing.
Yeah. I wish I want to do more like post-match promos, pre-match promos. Like I really enjoy doing that. I like doing them just on the spot. And I wrestle a lot for Mid States Wrestling in Springfield, Missouri, and Harrison, Arkansas. And we filmed all of the month of February. They filmed in Harrison for some TV that's going to be airing at some point in time. I want more details on it. But that was really fun because I got to do like post match ringside filmed promos. And it's super fun to just like, yeah, test yourself in that way. And I like to think I'm okay at promos, so it's always good getting more practice.
So you said you've done TV. TV wrestling is so different
Oh yeah,
than like a house show.
yeah.
Uh, I have instilled myself to find the hard cam every second I'm in that damn ring. Uh, it's
Bringing TV
difficult.
like that, that's not a bad skill to do, no matter where you are.
But just that thing is because I've noticed that I love doing TV. It's like exciting, action packed,
Hmm.
and it's quick. It's quick paced
Short
stuff.
matches
I
are
do
fun.
enjoy TV.
Short matches are super fun. There's less to forget, and you get to look cool.
That is totally true. I've been blessed enough. They keep bringing me up to EPW in Boonesville, Mississippi, and they
Nice,
do TV, and they have just acquired like I guess half the state of Mississippi. So
nice.
that should be cool. Should
Yeah,
be entertaining.
Mid States is really cool because yeah, we did the TV, but like they always present it, especially in Harrison. Jason Jones is the promoter for that company, and he's run for this is their 21st year, and he's ran in Harrison all of that time, I think. So he's put a lot of time into the fairground building to like put hooks for curtains. So every show he runs there looks like TV. Like it is professional. That's my favorite ring. It is clean. The canvas is nice. There's good padding. Like, oh, it's the best ring. I love Mid States. And I'm babyface there. They love me. I love the crowd. Like, Mid States is my home, I would say.
So that's your home promotion. That's good to
Yep.
have.
Yep.
I I'm a vagabond now. I don't have one of those. I used to, but just there's so much wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get like tied down to just a few. I
Yeah.
don't know. I assume that you're
Show.
the same as me with because you were talking about the spreadsheets and stuff. I send a lot of messages like a week to different promotions and stuff. Do you do that kind of thing too?
Well, not really, just because I feel like as a female wrestler, I've so far had enough people just messaging me that I haven't had to really reach out to people yet. I want to because I want to get out to more places. But so far, I mean, like I just got a new one the other day for St. Croix, Wisconsin, which is like just outside of the Twin Cities too. So that'll be fun. And it's actually funny because he messaged me asking if I was open. It's AWF and it's July 22nd. And he asked if I knew another female worker. And I messaged Judy Azul, who I train with, and I've worked with her more than anyone else. I've had more singles matches with her. Love working with Judy. She's so strong and good. And I messaged her asking if she was available, and she said, I just got a message about that date. What promotion is it? And he totally messaged her already. So, like, we're working on that show together. And that's super cool. So far, I haven't had to reach out to people, but I want to because I just want to break out more. And I don't mind traveling as long as I can get some sort of compensation for gas, like worth it.
Dang, big time Kelsey over here. Never have to reach out to nobody.
You
God, I
know,
sent so many emails. Like I'm
you know,
on red on hundreds of promotions. I guarantee it.
dude, that's just the. I'm telling you, that is being a female wrestler as opposed to being a guy. Like it is. There's so many guy wrestlers. There's so many bad ones. So I can't imagine like I'm not envious in that regard, but there's a lot of disadvantages to being a female wrestler too. So, it's a give and take.
So I don't know if you probably wouldn't have had this issue. I've had this issue. I know a couple of people have had this issue. Uh, and I thought it was a joke, and I thought they were ribbing us, but I have literally been in the ring with people, and like we've been in the back, and they're like, "Oh yeah, my cousin put me on this. We used to do backyard stuff." Have you ever encountered this before? I bet you haven't.
Not as me as a wrestler. I have seen it in front of me on a show, but it was not a match I had to work in. This I'm not gonna say where I was or any details, but this kid was just there. He had like jeans, work boots, like a flannel, and like he just looked like he came like straight off the farm. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm working. I'm wrestling a match." And he put some tape on his wrist, tape his hands all up, and like he never changed. Like that was just what he was wearing. And he's like, "Yeah, this is my second match." And I was like, "You don't have any training at all, do you?" Like, and that's honestly offensive to me as a wrestler because I invested a fucking lot of money to do this and I took it seriously. And it sucks to see people just like, "Whoa, I got my like work boots with manure all over them. I'm gonna just step in the ring when I've got like these custom made expensive boots that I care about, this gear that I made myself." Like, oh, it's rough. It's rough. And I can't imagine as a guy, you probably deal with that a lot.
It hasn't. It's only been a few occasions for me, and
Good.
uh, and one of them I ended up getting. I got fired, so shit happened. Uh, we were going out, and I was like, "All right, bro, let's have a good match." And he goes, "I'm so nervous. I never trained for this." And my brain went, "All right, I'm fucking beating your ass." All right, so
Wow.
we get out there, and I literally I just put him in like a rear naked choke, and it was over in like 15 seconds.
I
And
mean,
then I got no PO, I got nothing. Uh, I left right after that. I got my bag and I left. Didn't change the gear, and I was like, I'll never fucking be back. And then it got taken down. They put a post up on Facebook. This guy's super unprofessional. And like I got a couple of people got on it, and they were like, yeah, no. Uh,
wow.
he already told us what happens. You're a piece of shit. It was such a fucking thing.
Dude, well, it comes down to it's dangerous as fuck being a trained wrestler in the ring. Like, you can do a small package and paralyze somebody. Like, you take a giant risk every single time you get in there if you're the most trained person ever. So, to get in there with someone who has no fucking clue what they're doing, like, I'm not going to bump for that person. I'm not going to try to do anything because they don't know. Even throwing a strike, like they're going to fucking potato the shit out of you because they don't know what they're doing. Like, no,
Oh,
fuck that. I feel like you did the right choice of just like,
I
if
did.
I'm going to have to do
Good
something,
night.
this is what I'm going to, I'm not bumping for this guy.
Then they were talking crazy because we were going over, and he was like, "Yeah, I like to do like top rope stuff." And then 15 seconds before we go out, "Yeah, I never trained for this." Get the fuck out of here, please, because none of this is gonna be good for you, bud. And it
No,
wasn't.
not good for you either. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, it was a 30 people crowd. Like I love wrestling, 15 to thousands of people. I don't give a shit. I just love to wrestle, but damn, I'm not gonna do that.
Yep.
Anyways.
I feel you. I feel you.
Fucking Christ. Okay, so we're getting close to the wrap up time. So I'm gonna do let's give everybody your social medias and where they can find you at.
I am on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Kelsey Magnolia. Facebook, it's the Anomaly Kelsey Magnolia. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all. I have a YouTube channel. I don't put a lot of matches on there, but there's some on there, and there's other matches that I probably wouldn't recommend watching that other people have posted on YouTube. But that's I'm going to say that that's one thing that is a blessing and a curse about being in the modern era is you can film everything, but anyone can film everything and anyone can put stuff on YouTube. So, ooh.
Yeah, you don't want to end up in one of those like botch club videos.
Or do you?
I don't know. I know somebody that did, and they're newer to the business, and their TikTok is bonkers just
Dude,
because of it. They have like a video that has 1 million views. I
ugh.
was just like,
I do
fuck.
not I do not have TikTok. I registered Kelsey Magnolia on TikTok so no one else could have that name, but mm-mm. I
I
don't
love
even
it.
like making reels, but Instagram has made me make reels. So I'm dragging myself into what I have to do for social media.
Dude, I start them on TikTok and literally just repost them onto Instagram.
Yeah, freaking social
Oh,
media, man.
it is a nightmare.
Yeah,
I've encountered a lot of weird people on social media. I bet you have too.
I haven't experienced too much of that just because I also don't like try to present myself in like a super sexy way. So that has helped, I feel like. But I'd rather be frightening to people than like attractive. So I'll take it.
Okay, so what shows do you have up and coming so people can in the area can check it out?
This Saturday, I will be wrestling for a new promotion, Honor Among Wrestling, Memorial Day weekend in Rock Island, Illinois, wrestling Rex Amadeus, the mustache. I've wrestled him a few times. I'm definitely going to beat him. June, I have a lot up in Minnesota. June 10th, I will be at Steel Domain Wrestling. And then June 17th, I'll be back for a doubleheader MAW Midwest All Star Wrestling. That's what it's called. That's in the afternoon, and then in the evening is more Steel Domain Wrestling. So Minnesota. Eventually, I'll be getting back to either Springfield or Harrison for Mid States. That probably won't be till August, but I do have some openings in July and June. So anybody want to hit me up for some bookings? Willing to travel? Let's talk.
Okay, so speaking of Minnesota, have you bumped into they do the indie what is it, indie talk? Uh the Jesse and Jaren dudes?
Yes, I think I've met Jaren once, and I think they've actually messaged me on Instagram about being on their show. You know how terrible I am about getting on shows.
Yeah, it took like a year.
So maybe this will push me to getting back to them, especially now that I'm talking on air. Yes, I do know them, and I would love to be a guest on their podcast.
I did I stepped in for them for like a couple of shows and helped them guest co-host and stuff. Anyways,
Nice.
because I saw you on a video and I was like, "Ah, dude, you're at that show." Okay. Because he was like taping it and I was like, "It was you wrestling." And I was like, "Holy shit, small world."
Oh,
They were my very first podcast I ever did too.
That's awesome. I have not done many of them because I'm not technologically savvy, and I also just meh. I
Eh.
like you though. I like you, Jackson.
Okay, so let's do. Okay, now I'm gonna give you the one. Let's see. This is my end all. This is my ending question usually. So, what is if you're at the end of the day, you're at the end of your career, you left the boots in the ring. What did you want your legacy to be?
I want to I want to just be seen as a really strong wrestler. Like I want to build the confidence that I know that I have so that I can inspire people the way that Bull Nakano and Akira Hokuto and these strong, tough women inspired me. Hana Kimura, who a couple days ago was just her third anniversary of passing away. Like she inspired me more than anyone to be a wrestler. I want to inspire people to challenge themselves, and I want to be able to overcome my challenges and make myself into a stronger person. I want to be able to say I'm really proud of myself, whether that's getting to Japan, which like my goal is to get paid to go wrestle in Japan. Like that's my ultimate main goal. I don't have contract goals, anything like that. Like, but if that doesn't happen, I want to get to the point where I can still be proud that I wasn't scared. I got past my fears. I worked past it. So I want to be able to just be seen as like a really strong woman, which is so South Park, strong woman.
A strong woman. Hell yeah, I love that. That's good because some people bullshit that answer and they're like, "Oh, I just want to be known for having the charisma of a houseplant." I'm glad you there's a thought out and a good response.
Be the best. I want to make myself a better person. I want to continue, and I want to be able to know that my hard work, know that I got to where I got because of the hard work I put in for it.
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jackson Black, and this is the Anomaly. I can't say that word. I'm done.
Anomaly.
Kelsey Magnolia.
The
The
anomaly.
anomaly. I can't do it. I'm stuck. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you
We'll
for
work on it.
tuning in. Thank you, Kelsey, for being a part of this episode. Let me do it to the outro.